Hey guys, what's up? It's Tyler here, Highlighter Graphics. This is the fourth part of Photoshop tutorial series. Last one, so it was 6 months ago. It was in June, I believe, June 20th. So 6 months and a day later, continuing it. But I did 2 takes of this, but the first time, I think the mic wasn't working, and the second time the video didn't save. So this is the third time. Hopefully I can go quick with it and show you what we're gonna do. So our last video was on finishing the background and getting it how you want. So now we're gonna do color corrections. That's what this video is gonna be. So what I normally do is, well, what you first do for any of the color correction stuff is you come down here to this half black, half white circle, and you click it, and you get all these choices you can do. And the first thing I normally do is I make a black and white, make the design black and white, and then lower the opacity. And you can either use the gradient map, which is right here, or you can use hue/saturation or black and white. I'll show you any of them. I'd say black and white's the best, but we'll just check this, hue/saturation. The shortcut for this is Control U if you don't know. But here all you have to do is just lower this saturation here. There's completely black and white. That's color's terrible. But I normally go from anywhere from like -20 to -40 just to start it out. And you can see a little bit of a difference there. But another way you can do it is the gradient map, and you want to click the arrow, click this second black and white one, so that makes your whole design black and white. You can come over to opacity and lower this. Like I said, anywhere between 20 and 40 is what I normally do. And then it's the same thing as that, but black and white. When you come down here to the circle, when you choose black and white, you can really adjust the brightness of all of this. Even though it's all black and white, you can adjust the reds in it and all of this stuff. And I'm just gonna get this to a little bit how I like, and it's just based upon what you want. Just in the background area. So that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to lower this. Let's say 40 is pretty good. Alright, so I do that, desaturate it just a little bit, and then I come down again. And next what I probably do is I'll probably go up to brightness or contrast. And here is where you can adjust the overall brightness and contrast. I usually increase the contrast up a whole lot, because it makes it feel more vibrant, and I don't know, just it looks better for me. That's what I think. But yeah, so I normally increase this, and you can always go back to these later if you want. But we'll just choose this. So that just is the brightness and contrast, self-explanatory. And next, what I like, these 4 right here are pretty good. And curves, what you can do is it's pretty much the contrast in your design. It makes it darker. You can make it dark by adjusting this, make it brighter or whatever. And if you come up here, you can adjust the individual colors. So if you want to increase the reds or lower the reds, whatever, you can do that. But I don't usually use it for that. I use something else, which we'll get to. So you can just adjust this to however you feel it looks the best. So I'd say, and again, you can always go back by double clicking on these, not the layer masks to the right, which hopefully I'll cover that. But so another one I use, let's do exposure. And again, I'm not a professional at any of this, just my hobby. This is what I do for everything. But the exposure here, it's kind of contrast. It's the brightness and contrast, I guess. and you can increase it, decrease. It's really touch sensitive and stuff, so you have to be careful. I don't mess with this offset because I can show you, like, if you just move it a little bit, it makes it super bright, or like that's decreasing the contrast, that's increasing it, and you can see it's at negative 0.0263, which is a big difference. But so I just leave that at 0, and then gamma correction, I sometimes adjust this, but yeah. So that looks fine, and you can, this is after all of the color corrections we have so far, and that's before, and you can see it adds a whole new perspective to the piece. And we haven't even gotten into the actual color part, we've just gotten to the brightness, contrast, and all this stuff. So but for gradient maps, these are the ones that come with Photoshop. You can choose your own, and you can reverse the colors here. You always want it to look like this. Like there's a difference between this and this. This is almost inverted. It has the invert look, so you want it to look normal. And a good way you can do this, you can lower the opacity, which I don't really recommend. But you come over here, and overlay works really good for gradient maps, and then you can lower it still. But then you can use any of these. Just scroll through, see what you like best, and it's based on what you want for that specific design and everything. But let's get into the actual color stuff. So I normally do color balance. I really like this one, and you can do the same thing with curves with the red and blue and stuff, but I like this. And you can adjust the whole thing, adjust the whole entire piece to what you want the design to be. If you want a cool tint, or you want it warm, whatever you want, you can adjust it to however you feel. But I think I'm gonna make this blue, more of a cyan, since it's the Hornets' jersey. It'll match it a little bit. So I'm gonna increase these a little bit. Don't want it too dark. Looks pretty good. And you can that was just the midtones, all the highlights and stuff, the brighter parts of the design. But so that's what I use. And also selective color is really good. It takes the specific colors in the design here you choose. It takes the specific colors in here, and you can change them individually, like all of the reds. There's not much here, but okay, that was a bad example. Let's go to cyan. Since his whole jersey is cyan, if you increase this, it just changes the cyan color in the design. You don't have to worry about anything else. So yeah, most of this stuff is just based on what you want your design to feel like, how you want it to look, and what you want your audience to think of it. So, but you can do so much with this, and this stuff can really change your design. Like, you don't even need effects. I mean, effects make it look a whole lot better, but you don't even really need. You could just finish your design like this. Of course, it wouldn't be great because you don't have any lighting or shadows, but I went a whole lot. I've made a whole lot of designs doing this. I made a James Harden, Steph Curry one, just using this stuff. And if you want to group these, I normally do, you can select all of them and press Control G, and that does that. Or you can right click, select all of them, right click, and then, select all of them and then go down here, the little folder, group them, call them CC, then drag them into the folder for color corrections. And that's before and that's after the color corrections, and it really makes a whole big difference in your design. And I guess I'll go over a few of these. The gradient tool, which is over here too, but this could come in handy sometimes. So just basically adds a gradient, self-explanatory, everything you can choose. Linear, you want a line for your gradient tool, or if you want it to be a circle. Radial, you could reverse these. And just like the gradient maps, you can make your own. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, you can make your own gradient maps. So you double click this and you come over, you see this here, these are your colors, and you can choose any of the presets here and you can save your own. But the way to change it is you double click the bottom sliders and you can change the color to whatever you want. So this is cool sometimes to use. And again, exploring this, doing it yourself and doing it a lot will get you more experience, and it'll be more helpful if you do it that way. But yeah, this is pretty much the basics. I'm not good at any of this, just what I do for fun. Thought I'd let you guys know how I do this, how I do my designs. But yeah, I guess that's all for this tutorial. So thanks guys for watching, and subscribe, like, and I'll see you next time. We'll be focused on lighting and shadows.